AskReddit by ALJ8002. Women of Reddit, what hobbies do you find unattractive in men? I don't really care tbh, as long as you're not the type that insists that we do absolutely everything together. I like my alone time and I already have my own hobbies. I'm not gonna change for you, and I don't want you to change for me. That's the worst, and it can be so insidious because people can gaslight you for having a hobby that you choose to, sometimes, do without them. I joined a D&D game my friends were running. We'd play once a month for about 6-8 hours, and every time I got home my then wife would clearly be angry, though it took her forever to admit what it was about. She eventually came to one of the sessions and discovered that we actually played the whole time. Her assumption had been that we only played for 2-3 hours and I just spent the rest of the time sitting around with my friends chatting and drinking beer. I got an apology, but it also took me looking back on the marriage afterwards to realize that even if we had done that, it should have been okay. This was literally one of the only things I ever did without my ex the whole time we were together. It wasn't even that I didn't want her there, she just didn't think she'd enjoy Dungeons and Dragons. Spoiler alert, once she tried it, she did, though ironically it's one of the ways she got close to the guy she ended up leaving me for, so I guess that one's on me. I once asked a guy what his favorite hobby was on our first date. His answer was dating. Edit, typo. He was clearly talking about carbon dating. Guy was just an aspiring archaeologist. What's the opinion on model trains? I exist because a woman was into a guy who is into model trains. Really into them. You should see their backyard. Hanging out too much time on social media. It's not a hobby, it's an addiction. This is me saying this to myself about myself. I can boil this post down to 5 things. Addictions are destructive and bad. Overbearing obsessiveness is toxic. Being unnecessarily absent neglectful is awful. Gambling, just don't. Unnecessary intentional murder is bad. So you're saying necessary intentional murder is okay? How necessary are we talking here? I have a guy at work who for some reason loves to go in great detail about his triathlon training routine, and how frustrating it is that even though his wife knows he needs to get his 67.5 minutes of riding and a 2-kilometer swim in each afternoon, she still bugs him to help with their kids. That woman deserves a chest full of medals for not stabbing him in a murderous rampage each night. To people like this, don't have kids if you don't want to take care of them. Gambling. Our Wall Street bit in shambles. Praying no one says amateur radio. The fact it hasn't been mentioned can only mean it's a definite panty dropper. Deleted. My so got really into crypto for a while. Put thousands of dollars into it, tried to convince me to do it too. Lectured me about it being the future and how I should be investing and listening to him because he did his research. So I put like $100 into Dogecoin because whatever, I'm gonna lose it all anyway. He got annoyed with that because I wasn't taking it serious enough. Then he lost all his money and I made $1,000. It's all just a dumb lottery. Working. I'm not even lying. I met a dude once whose only hobby is working. When he's at work, he works. And when he's at home, he also works. And during holidays, it's also him and his PPT plus Excel sheets. Man can't even watch an entire movie without typing away on his financial report. And when there's no work, he becomes extremely grumpy. I have a rule that I won't ever become bored enough in my personal life that I pull out my work computer. Day drinking. Being married in love with a high-functioning alcoholic is soul-crushing. And X200B. Edit, let me clarify myself a bit. I have nothing against having a drink with a meal. That's not what I mean. What I mean by day drinking is whenever you pop a top at in the AM and don't stop until evening or until you pass out, then repeat the process on every day off. I've been married to him for a little over 8 years, and it's been a lot to deal with. He's not the same person when he drinks, and I cannot stand him when he is like that. I hide away in the kitchen and cover myself so that he won't touch me when he's like that. But when he is sober, I see the man I fell in love with, and those days get me through the bad ones. I love him, and have no intentions of leaving him. He says he wants to stop, but has yet to go a solid week without it. We recently moved away, plus 3k miles, from where my family lives, and I've never felt more alone than I do now. I've already told him sending you some love. My husband was a functioning alcoholic for like 25 years and now we're dealing with his sobriety plus having relapses, and it's really hard. You can PM me anytime if you need to. It's not about what hobby they do. As long as they are passionate about it and aren't assholes or gatekeepers about it, everything is good. Wheel, my hobby is gatekeeping. I bet you couldn't even name 5 gates. My favorites are Schemes of Babylon, Nor, the Ninth, and Melinda. Edit. Thanks for the awards. The comment section of this could not be more perfect, chef's kiss. As much as I like anime and manga, I will admit if I meet a guy and in their public space in their home they show their hentai posters and figures, I'd be a little worried. Anime in general is not the issue. Anime fans and hentai fans are different breeds. The latter almost always overlaps with the former, but some of us are just trying to enjoy some cartoons and shit. Deleted. Holy shit, that guy sucks. A couple of years ago I would have said being a gym rat. Now I'm dating one and he's just a massive nerd that likes sharing neat facts about muscles. And I'm really into nerds, so RIP. Lol, I love the idea that a gym bro is really just a muscle nerd. Any hobby that makes your loved ones feel like overlooked shit. Miso has missed anniversaries and birthdays to attend long distance Warhammer tournaments. Usually he hates travel, so we've never gone anywhere for ourselves. The honeymoon he promised 13 years ago never happened, and we've never been on any romantic trips together. I love travel and bonding over new experiences, but he doesn't care unless it's a tabletop game. I've played Gloomhaven and a lot of other games to make him happy. X-Wing was pretty fun, but it sucks when there's no reciprocation for my interests. Eater. Just checked back in during my break and apparently my inbox exploded, so I'm grateful for all the reassuring comments and those of you who are offering helpful suggestions, even if it's just to pack up and leave, as long as you're not a total ass about it. Unfortunately, real life is not that simple. The life we've built together is still important. I do love him and he says he loves me. He's not some abusive monster like some of you seem to think. We're just different people who have grown apart over the years. It happens. I don't know if we'll work through it or not, but he has made some efforts lately to find some local activities we can both enjoy. I'm trying to be as optimistic as I can while also focusing on my own needs instead of his. That includes returning to school and getting a better job if I need to support myself alone. He's been supportive of that and I'm excited for next semester. 13 years? You sound like you're wasting away. Collections of belly button links. Belly button fluff. What wonderful stuff. I don't know who keeps putting all this lint in my button. My collection's never enough. Degenerate investing, aka gambling all our fucking money away. I'd rather marry the guy who enjoys Pokemon, watches anime, or likes to bake. Hell, I'd rather date a guy who is a straight up pothead as long as he can still function well. I see what you do. You can fish on weekends. You can go hunting. You can drink beer and chill with your friends. Anything is fine with me as long as it isn't going to ruin our lives. But I'm never fucking dating another person, man or woman or non-binary, that is fucking awful with money. Splurging or going into manageable debt is fine. but don't fucking ruin us. Same goes with something like a severe drug addiction. Sounds like someone was dating a WSB degenerate. I don't find any hobbies unattractive. I love seeing people's faces light up when they work on or talk about something they are passionate about. And through my years I've found out things about their hobbies and learned skills in many different areas too, like graphic design, town planning, painting. Hobby away and enjoy. I'm enjoying your enjoyment. Till town planning is a hobby, as well as a thing. SimCity 4 players unite. Serial killing, I guess. Dart. Unless you do it for a living. Not a woman of Reddit, but cockfighting. We brought our kids to a birthday party. We got there early so my wife could help set up. So us dudes are hanging out. The homeowner decides to show us something awesome. It was not awesome. As soon as these birds see each other, it's on sight on sight. I didn't know chickens could get so angry. And they put razor blades on their feet to make it go quicker. I felt sick. Instant panic attack. Like WTF. This guy had at least 50 birds leashed up like dog fighting dogs. It's been years and I'm still shook. Damn dude, what country do you live in where some guy felt comfortable casually showing all his fighting ruler collection? What about a man with no hobbies? Don't like sports or video games or hunting or gambling or TV. I think my wife gets bummed that I don't really do anything for myself anymore. It probably doesn't help that I don't hang out with anyone either. My 3 closest friends moved out of state within the last 3 years and all family is out of state too. I work on our house while I'm not working on other people's houses and do chores and hang with our 17-mo baby and 13-yo, when he'll allow it. Nobody will probably read this, but feeling like a total loser lately. Edit. Wow, so many words of encouragement. Not gonna lie, my eyes are definitely a little teary. Thank you to everyone for your kind words, and please know that they have really made a big difference in my perspective of myself. I'm calling some friends tomorrow, planning a date with my wife and making an appointment with a therapist. No going back to that sad guy again. Love you all. You're definitely not a loser. But it sounds like you might be neglecting your own needs. And that you miss your friends. The things you do with your family are so great and admirable. But do give yourself permission to have a hobby or whatever it is you wish to do. Take a trip to see your friends. Join a club. Start a hobby. Let yourself have a moment for yourself. You feeling like this will not do good for anyone. You deserve to feel happy, and I bet your family wants that too more than anything. It's when hobbies don't balance in with the rest of life that they become unattractive. The hobby isn't what's unattractive. It's really how they treat the hobby. Like, it's one thing to like it, but it's another thing to make it your whole personality. My hobby was beekeeping. Then I created a company and started doing it professionally. I did that for a few years and then started teaching newbies how to do it. Sometimes going overboard with a hobby can work out. But yes, sometimes it's just ridiculous, marrying a manga body pillow because you like the character. CNTRL+F. Search Magic the Gather. Oh, thank God I'm still good. I really struggle with this question. I think every human should have a hobby, but at the same time, diving headfirst into a hobby and making that your entire identity can be a relationship killer. As a man, I love gardening, but my girlfriend took it over. My old GF took over my garden and I lost a hobby. Then she started to do it nude for the vitamin D and my hobby changed to watching. Now we both tend the garden that way. Scrolling Reddit long enough to get to this post. Haven't seen obsessively buying guitars yet. Hey, those are gonna be worth something someday. People should know hobbies and addiction are not the same. Edit. Hobby, an activity that someone does for pleasure when they are not working, leisure time. When you're doing it constantly, it's a habit, work, nature, etc. Like breathing, it's not a hobby. Since the post is about something negative like drinking and smoking, it's addiction.